Welcome dear viewers, let us all together try to reduce stress on mind. Once upon a time during times of Gautam Buddha, there lived a rich merchant in town Sravasti. He had a very beautiful daughter named Patachara. Many young men were attracted to her beauty. Her parents used to lock her up in the upper chambers of their house, so that no man may lay his eyes on her. Patachara, however, fell in love with a servant of the household. The merchant had found a rich young fellow to be wed to Patachara, but on her wedding night she ran away with her lover. They fled from their village and made a simple living by doing menial labor. After some time, Patachara became pregnant, and she left for her parents' house with her husband to deliver her child. As they did not have the proper arrangements for the delivery of the baby, however, she gave birth to the child on the way, so they returned home. After some time, Patachara again became pregnant. They again left for the Patachara's parents' home to deliver her second child. They had to travel through a dense forest to reach her maternal home. On the way, a great storm broke out. Patachara started to have labor pains. Her husband went in search of firewood. While he was chopping firewood, a poisonous snake bit him and he died right there. Ignorant of all these things, Patachara gave birth to another child in the desolate forest. She spent the whole night protecting her children from rain and waiting for her husband. In the morning, she went in search of her husband and reached a place where her husband was lying dead. Seeing her husband dead, she was blown away with shock. Now grief-stricken, Patachara started walking towards her parents' home with her children. On the way, there was a river that was in full spate due to the monsoon rains, and it was impossible for her to cross the raging river carrying her both children. So she left her older child on the bank and crossed the river with her newborn baby. Once she crossed the river, she left her newborn baby there and went back to fetch her older child. When she was in the middle of the river, an eagle swooped down, grabbed Patachara's newborn baby and flew away. Seeing this, she started to panic and scream. Hearing his mother scream, Patachara's older son thought that she was calling him, so he jumped into the river. It was not possible for a small kid to cross that raging river, and soon he drowned in the overflowing river. Patachara kept screaming but couldn't save her child. Having lost both her children and husband on the same day, she lost her mental balance and started to cry in deep agony. As she neared the home of her parents, she met a local resident from the village. Patachara told him about herself and asked about her relatives. The man was dumbstruck after he heard her story. After much pleading, he told Patachara how the previous night's downpour had destroyed her parents' house. Her entire family had drowned in the flood. They had been taken to burn their funeral. The smoke that you are coming from the west is probably from their funeral pyre. After listening to this, Patachara was totally broken. This last tragedy totally broke her heart. She lost her mental balance and started roaming naked around Sravasti. She was crying and wailing like a wounded animal. Seeing her naked, people would scold her and drove her away in anger. It happened that one day she reached Jetvan while wandering, and there lived Gautam Buddha with his disciples. While wandering, she reached a place where Buddha was preaching. She started going to Buddha by splitting the crowd. People started stopping her. This created a noise in that place. This noise and wailing of a woman catch attention of Gautam Buddha. Buddha stopped the people and instructed them to let her come to him. Patachara reached Buddha in a naked and insane state. She had no senses and was behaving like insane. Buddha looked at her with compassion and said, "Sister, come to your senses." And as if a miracle happened, she suddenly came back to her senses. And as soon as she regained her consciousness, she realized that she was naked. She was embarrassed and sat down to cover herself. Buddha gave her one of his robes to cover her body. She wore the robe and laid prostrate at the feet of Buddha. She narrated her tragic story to Buddha. In the presence of Buddha, all her agony simply evaporated. A new calmness and peace descended upon her. Buddha said, "Just as you are shedding tears for your children and family now, you have shed tears in countless lives. The amount of tears humanity has shed for being separated from their loved ones is greater than the amount of water in the ocean. Death and separation are the harsh rule of this world. Don't destroy yourself in mourning. Rather find out the way to be free from the bondage of sorrow." Hearing these words from Gautam Buddha, Patachara achieved the state of Srotapana. As per Buddhism, Srotapana is one of the 4 stages before one attains enlightenment. Then she took initiation from Gautam Buddha and became disciple of Buddha. And it is said that eventually she became enlightened before she left her body. If we observe in our life, we will find that sorrow always comes to teach us something. Had there not been such a great sorrow in life of Patachara, she might not have reached to Buddha and attained enlightenment. Similarly, sometimes some events happens in our life and we feel sorrow. We should understand that sorrow has come for our betterment. Until there are no sorrows in your life, you will never find a way to get rid of it. Therefore, whenever there is sorrow in your life, remember that it has come to take you closer to your true self. A land of eternal happiness where there is no space for any sorrow. This is Identify of Wisdom Motivational Stories. Thanks for watching and keep smiling. Like and subscribe.